The Ballad of the Calliope Banjo Paterson. Andrew Barton. By the far Samoan shore, where the league-long rollers pour all the wash of the Pacific on the coral-guarded bay, riding lightly at their ease, in the calm of tropic seas, the three great nations' warships at their anchors proudly lay. Riding lightly, head to wind, with the coral reefs behind, 3 German and 3 Yankee ships were mirrored in the blue. And on one ship unfurled was the flag that rules the world, for on the old Calliope the flag of England flew. When the gentle offshore breeze, that had scarcely stirred the trees, dropped down to utter stillness, and the glass began to fall, away across the main lowered the coming hurricane, and far away to seaward hung the cloud rack like a pall. If the word had passed around, Amperson quo, let us move to safer ground. Let us steam away to seaward and quo. Then his tale were not to tell. But each captain seemed to say Amperson quo. If the others stay, I stay. Amperson quo. And they lingered at their moorings till the shades of evening fell. Then the cloud rack neared them fast, and there came a sudden blast, and the hurricane came leaping down 1,000 miles of main. Like a lion on its prey, leapt the storm fiend on the bay, and the vessels shook and shivered as their cables felt the strain. As the surging seas came by, that were running mountains high, the vessels started dragging, drifting slowly to the lee. And the darkness of the night hid the coral reefs from sight, and the captains dared not risk the chance to grope their way to sea. In the dark they dared not shift. They were forced to wait and drift. All hands stood by uncertain would the anchors hold or no. But the men on deck could see, if a chance for them might be, there was little chance of safety for the men who were below. Through that long, long night of dread, while the storm raged overhead, they were waiting by their engines, with the furnace fires a-roar. So they waited, staunch and true, though they knew, and well they knew, they must drown like rats imprisoned if the vessel touched the shore. When the grey dawn broke at last, and the long, long night was past, while the hurricane redoubled, lest its prey should steal away, on the rocks, all smashed and strown, were the German vessels thrown, while the Yankees, swamped and helpless, drifted shorewards down the bay. Then at last spoke Captain Kane, Amperson quo. All our anchors are in vain, and the Germans and the Yankees they have drifted to the lee. Cut the cables at the bow. We must trust the engines now. Give her steam, and let her have it, lads. We'll fight her out to sea. Amperson quo. And the answer came with cheers from the stalwart engineers, from the grim and grimy firemen at the furnaces below. And above the sullen roar of the breakers on the shore came the throbbing of the engines as they labored to and fro. If the strain should find a flaw, should a bolt or rivet draw, then, God help them. For the vessel were a plaything in the tide. With a face of honest cheer quoth an English engineer, Amperson quo. I will answer for the engines that were built on Old Thames side. Amperson quo. For the stays and stanchions taut, for the rivets truly wrought, for the valves that fit their faces as a glove should fit the hand. Give her every ounce of power? If we make a knot an hour then it's way enough to steer her, and we'll drive her from the land. Amperson quo. Life a foam flake tossed and thrown, she could barely hold her own, while the other ships all helplessly were drifting to the lee. Through the smother and the rout the Calliope steamed out, and they cheered her from the Trenton that was foundering in the sea. Drifting shoreward there, all helpless as they were, their vessel hurled upon the reefs as weed ashore is hurled, without a thought of fear the Yankees raised a cheer that English-speaking folk should echo round the world.